Good morning. A lot of you know me as the fish man. Even Craig Wright called me the aqua man. So we had some pressure, we had some demands to deliver something. So I'm very, very proud to be here today to announce Seafood Chain, powered by Unisat. Seafood is one of the most important industry in the world. It's the fastest growing industry in the food industry in the world. And Seafood Chain is taking care of all the demands and requirements that this industry requires. Sustainable seafood is a choice. Seafood Chain give you the functionality for global traceability, for proving the quality, proving the sustainability of your products. The seafood industry is a very complex supply chain. With the global trade that we have today, the fish are traveling long distances. It goes in and out of different harbors. It changes hand a lot from producers to wholesalers, to retailers, all the way to the consumer. And the tools that we give to not only the consumer, but also to all the partners in the supply chain. Seafood Chain creates what we call smart digital twins. Smart digital twins are digital representations in the Bitcoin SV blockchain, which represent the physical objects, like the fish in this case. And by putting this into the blockchain, we can trace every step of the way for the fish. From the producer, from the eggs, all the way through the production and transport, and all the way to the consumer. So we create something that we call a digital thread, which gives information down the stream, so from the producer to the consumer. But because we have this digital thread, we now enable communication between all the partners in the supply chain. Today, you are only required to give information. You get information one tier up and one tier down. You get information from your supplier, and you have to give information to your customer. But you don't know what happens from your supplier if it's delayed or changed. And you don't give information to your customer's customer. That's what we enable now with the digital thread. Every partner in the supply chain can now communicate with any other partner in the supply chain, making it much more efficient. It also gives a connection directly from the producer to the consumer and the other way back. So we also enable the digital thread to go from the consumer to the producer. So like when you have an Uber today, you give it a rating 1 to 5, you can do the same here with fish, giving instant feedback from the consumer to the producer. So now they can make their processes much more efficient. The seafood industry today is not very digitalized. A lot of actions are done manually. A lot of information is typed down on a paper. If it's good, they use Excel, and sometimes they even use Google Docs for exchanging information. This is an industry that really needs digitalization. And this is exactly what we provide with Seafood Chain. So we can collect information. Instead of writing it down on a paper, we enable free apps to the people. We can have industry tablets. We connect IoT devices, of course, and we have our ERP plugins. All of this information that we collect and store on the blockchain, we can then validate with our validation services. Either we can do it with machine learning or with our own services to the customers. With a digital twin, as I mentioned, we can do the exact track and trace. So we can register temperatures, locations, take data from GPS loggers or from Bluetooth tags, and handle that information all the way through the supply chain. And that information we can also use as an oracle for smart contracts. All the information that is stored in the blockchain is owned by the creator. So the creator decides if and who they share the information with, or if they are selling that information to the other party. You can even subscribe to information from your supplier's supplier, for example, and you can have automatic machine-to-machine payment for this information. You also need to be able to track your products, to be able to check your key performance indexes. And that's where we have a number of dashboards and control panels for. So to be able to collect information all the way out from the field, we will provide industry applications and field applications. So what we want to do now, I want to invite Jan Axel up on the stage, and we're actually going to do a live demo. Please, demo gods. Live demo on the blockchain with our live products.
Okay. Hello, CoinGeek. My name is Jan Axel Karlstedt. I'm solution architect here at Uniswap, and I'm going to give a live demo on our newest solution for global item traceability and item data management. I'm really excited to show this to you all today, so let's begin. On the big screen, you can see the login page to your Uniswap, the Uniswap dashboard. The dashboard allows you to see all your Uniswap services, such as EDI business messages, traceability, and much more. It's your keys, meaning your data. And as I'm sure you've heard, the EDI service integrates with your existing ERP systems like SAP or Microsoft Dynamics 365. But today, we're going to focus on the traceability service. Without further ado, let's log into our Uniswap ID and explore. Here we are. The dashboard shows analytics, such as how many items we have, how many items are pending acceptance, or how many of our items are in the global supply chain. We're presented helpful notifications like the number of events, recent events. We can even see information such as EDI messages, but the rest is handled in your ERP system. In a quick glance, we can see what's happening with all of our Uniswap services. Now, I know new terms like create, add data, and ownership transfers might be making more questions than answers. So let's make something more tangible. Stefan, let's create a new item, a new digital twin.
Yes.
So let's move to the inventory, but before then, I can give a quick sneak peek of the data exchange, which is where the items, or which is where the orders that move between ERP systems are handled. So here you have incoming and outgoing messages, but of course the rest is handled within ERP systems. But today we're going to focus on the traceability service. So when we move to the inventory, we immediately start to see our items. Let's see the details of one of our items. Here we have a halibut with the transaction ID of 7B3D. You can see the classification is halibut. At Uniswap, we aim to use industrial standards such as GS1, Global Product Classification, or GPC for short. That means the system currently supports over 500,000 different product classifications from glass to halibut. The system is modular, meaning we're adding even more standards. Let's see what else is here. 7 data points, 1 transfer. That means this item contains the shared historic data, or product DNA, from every supply chain partner that has ever owned it. Let's see this item more closely. Here's where we could interact with our item, such as transfer it or add data to it. Let's look at the data. We have a couple of data sources. It looks like temperatures, locations, and weights. These are all within the required margins. This is a quality product up to standards. We could go through this data all day, or we could have an AI giving us smart notifications, such as if a temperature goes above a certain range, we'll be alerted. But I'll create, Stefan, a new digital twin. Let's go to the inventory and click Create. In a few simple steps, I can have my item. I GPC classify it. Let's make a halibut. Let's add some data to it, such as a weight. And let's go forward to review our data before we write it to the blockchain. Looks good. Let's write it to the blockchain. Our item is now on the blockchain. Let's actually view it on-chain. Everything is encrypted securely on the blockchain. Our item is locked and loaded immutably. Now, we could add more data, such as PDF documents, whether that's warranties, receipts, or qualifications. This protocol is flexible, meaning whatever data you want to add is really up to the user. For example, Unisalt seafood chain, we're adding a data template where you have to add data that's compliant with regulations for fishing industry. That can be many things, such as the fishing vessel name, the capture zone, the fish species. But for now, we just have our item. So let's see what else we can do with our item. Now, this PC isn't very mobile, and it would be so difficult to be in the office all day. It would be more useful if I had something more mobile, something I can use out in the field, something like a Unisalt Industrial app on my work phone. Introducing the Unisalt Industrial app. The homepage presents statistics and helpful notifications. It's a great piece of technology for recording item locations or doing in-person ownership transfers. I wish I had all day, but I've got an item to give to Stefan. Here's the item in real life. I'll initialize it by linking it to its blockchain twin. So we'll open it up here and initialize it. Now we can find it with the QR code. So I can add some data to this, such as the location coordinates of this great CoinGeek event. Done, and it's on the blockchain. The transactions are built and processed immutably on the blockchain. So, Stefan, here's your halibut. I'll transfer it to you. What's your Unisalt ID? I'll just scan your ID QR, select the data or product DNA that I want to share with you, and press transfer. Stefan gets a notification, and when he accepts, then the item belongs to him.
An item?
It's DB399.
This one. So, let's have a look first. What's in there? Okay, we have some data, we have some weight. Okay, I accept. Yes.
Well, this belongs to you now.
Thank you. So now I can add data to this object. So here we have the halibut. I can add some, let's add a weight or a temperature we didn't have before. So it's now 6 degrees. There it is. Oh, there, 6 degrees, yes. And now I will transfer it back to Jan Axel or to someone else in the supply chain, but we have no more people here, so transfer it back to Jan Axel. So I do that by saying transfer, and now I need your ID. And we just scan the QR code. Transfer.
Great, and now I get a notification on my screen. Here we are, 62943. I can view the data before I accept it.
It's yours again.
I haven't accepted it yet. I have to check that the
okay.
data is up to standard.
Yeah.
So here we have a temperature, 6 degrees Celsius. I don't know if that's within range, but I'll take it anyway.
Okay, great.
So here we have our item. A chain of transfers can go on and on, all across the world. The permissions are secured by the blockchain, which means data can only be seen and managed by who's supposed to. There's still more to show, but that will have to be for another time. Thank you, everybody. I hope you've enjoyed.
There should come some more. I have some more slides because we said we're going to launch a couple of products. So Seafood Chain is our first enterprise product on the Bitcoin SV blockchain. The second one is, of course, Unisot, our enterprise blockchain platform running on the Bitcoin SV permissionless blockchain. What many people don't understand, oh, I heard that before. What many people actually don't understand is you can actually use a permissionless blockchain, but what we're doing is to build a permissioned application on top of the blockchain. So Unisot is building secure permissioned application on top of the permissionless blockchain. Have another seconds here. So what we're doing is we want to create a zero barrier of entry to all partners in the supply chain, all the way from a small farmer or fisherman all the way up to the biggest corporations in the world. And we do that by our mobile apps, our industrial tablets. We also do that with our ERP plugins, as we have said a couple of times. The first one is, of course, from SAP, because SAP is the biggest ERP system in the world. 77% of global transaction touches an SAP system, so it's a very good base to start at. We also have done a plugin for Microsoft Dynamics 365, and we will make plugins for all ERP systems that our clients requires. We're also handling BDI, as we saw very shortly here. So BDI is the EDI, Edifact, that is standard today. We're doing that on the blockchain, which make it traceable, encrypted, signed, and auditable. We also add IoT nodes so that we can collect information automatically from the edge of the supply chain. You've seen this before. The problem we have today in the industry is the closed data silos. And they have many different IT systems out there. So with our plugins, we enable the companies to connect to the universal source of truth, the Bitcoin SV blockchain, which enables peer-to-peer BDI and peer-to-peer data exchange. So when we merge these largest ERP systems of the world, like SAP, with the universal source of truth that we have in the Bitcoin SV blockchain, the result we get will get exponentially larger than just a part of the sum of its parts. We need economy of scale, and this is exactly what we get with Bitcoin SV. We need scalability to make enterprise applications, and this is exactly what we got now after the Genesis upgrade. We have exponential scaling capacity. At the same time, we get lower and lower transaction costs, which is Very, very important for enterprise application as well. This enables efficiency and sustainability. Unisort provides these services and functions by delivering truth, transparency. We create trust in the system. I have to thank a lot of people for this. We have worked like maniacs the last 6 months to get this up and running for today, and we made it. Of course, it couldn't be done without some very important people like Craig Wright, Jimmy the Man, Calvin Eyre, and Neil, our investors, and of course, the whole Unisort and Seafood Chain team. Please stand up. I have to thank you very, very much. I wouldn't be here today without these wonderful people. Thank you very much.
Let's start with your big announcement of the Unisort Industrial Lab Seafood Chain. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
So what we did today was launch our industry application that we call Seafood Chain, which is specific then for the seafood industry, of course. That's an application, an industry application that is running on top of our blockchain platform called Unisort. So because Unisort, the blockchain platform, can be used for anything in supply chain, we had to focus on something just to get a product out and show that this is actually working. So because we are based in Norway, seafood is very important. That's the second biggest revenue for the country. We created Seafood Chain to show this, and now when we show that that works, we can also use this for any other industry. So we have a number of customers that we are talking to. There is a huge interest in this kind of technology because we have tried this many times before with central databases and so on. But the big thing now by using the Bitcoin SV blockchain, which is have scalability, security, and very low transaction fees, which is mandatory and very important for enterprise applications. By having this system, we can now extend and do any supply chain and any functionality there.
How is it that sustainability and traceability are changing the way you're doing things?
The big problem we have today is the traceability, or actually the information exchange between companies. Today they are using old technology, so they are not really exchanging very much information, and that makes a problem because you don't know your supplier's problem, or if they change something. You have to wait until the product comes to you and you see, oh, this doesn't work, or it is delayed or something like that. But by using this universal source of truth that the Bitcoin SV blockchain is, we can get information from the supplier, and we can give information all the way to our customers, and all the way to the end consumer. And we also have, for sustainability, is people get more and more interested in this. So our consumer app, their consumer can add if they are allergic or if they have any preferences, non-meat or stuff like that. Sometimes it doesn't say in the ingredients list today, but with our system you actually get exact the content of that package that you are holding, because it's an individual package that we track in the supply chain.
So basically, just to wrap this up, it improves communication along the whole chain.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. That's exactly what it does. Very good.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Stefan.